Hey everybody, Michael here with Adventurous Real Estate Investors. I'm here with my good friend and partner, Marcus Long from A Long Legacy. Marcus, thanks for being on the show again.
It's great to be together again.
In this video, Marcus and I are going to discuss 4 questions about a self-directed individual retirement account, or SD IRA. So stay tuned. So, Marcus, I know you just did a webinar on this whole topic where you sat down with the CEO of UDirect, which is one of the large self-directed IRA companies out there, and she went through an hour-long presentation basically with some Q&A in there as well about everything you need to know basically about your self-directed IRA. So if you're interested in getting access to that webinar, hang tight, because at the end of this video we'll tell you exactly where you need to go in order to get access there. But let's begin with, what exactly is a self-directed IRA, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, in its very simplest form, it is exactly what it says, a self-directed IRA. So a lot of people are familiar with their IRAs that they have invested in the market, bonds, mutual funds, things like that. And a self-directed IRA gives you an opportunity to self-direct it, to actually have more control over the individual asset that you are investing in. And so it, unlike the market, you are investing in some hard assets, and you control with who you're investing those funds with.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've kind of identified what exactly a self-directed IRA is. Would you mind, sharing, with the audience a little bit more about what a self-directed IRA, how you fund it, and in the money that's available out there right now?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and you're kind of going back to how much money is out there. Right now, at the time we record this, there's about $35 trillion in retirement accounts. And although self-directed IRAs have been available since the 1970s, I think partially a lack of awareness, there's only about 3% of that that's in self-directed accounts. So there's a lot of retirement funds available that could be in these accounts. And so how do you actually fund them? If you have a traditional Roth IRA currently, those funds can typically be rolled over into a self-directed IRA. You can just start a self-directed IRA from scratch and begin funding it. It has the same limits, right? It's the same as a normal IRA. It's just a different medium or custodian to deliver that. Or if you have a retirement account through a current employer, or probably a past employer, so usually you have to have left employment with that company, you can typically roll a lot of those funds over into a self-directed IRA as well. And you'd have to check with your current employer. Sometimes there are opportunities to transfer in-service retirement accounts over. That's something you have to talk to the current employer about.
Great. Yeah, I'm sure you'll learn definitely more about that in the webinar that you're going to get access to here at the end of this video. What are the benefits? Can you elaborate a little bit? What are the benefits of actually using a self-directed IRA? What can you invest? Once you self-direct your IRA, what can you use it to invest in?
Yeah, so there's a few benefits here. As I mentioned earlier on, is one of the benefits is you control it, right? Have more control over. So, when we invest in normal IRAs, we invest in a variety of companies, and they have their business plans and different CEOs. And with this, a lot of times you have an opportunity to invest with people you probably know the CEO or the owners of the businesses and the companies, probably have a little bit closer idea to the business plans that they're executing. So that's a little bit of the control of more who you're investing with. What you're investing in, as I mentioned, are primarily hard assets. So typically in your normal traditional Roth IRAs, you are investing in market, mutual funds, things like that. And then in the self-directed, you are investing in things like real estate, private placement memorandums, mortgage notes, and a variety of other hard assets as well. And another benefit is a lot of these are a little bit more stable returns and investments than your market that has a little bit more volatility.
Right.
So if the market swings in volatility, you get a little bit nervous, that something's coming, or if you don't like it, how it makes you feel when it does. Some of these investments can be a little bit more stable, and particularly as you get closer to the end of your retirement and can't afford, risking a drop off. It might be an opportunity there to invest in something that has more stable cash flow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. You have so much control with a self-directed IRA, while with the traditional IRA, you just basically hope that you're the custodian that's basically managing your IRA picks the right mutual funds or picks the right stocks to invest in, right? And then when you go to retire, that's not completely depleted. I know my mother, she had an IRA, and during 2008, she lost over 80% of that because of the market crash that occurred. And she was trying to retire at that time. Because of that, she had to actually, delay retirement for another 10 years, 10 plus years actually, in order to kind of recoup that. And so being able to self-direct your IRA into something that's tangible and like you have almost complete control over it, like you say you want to invest in a real estate syndication, or a multifamily apartment syndication, like you go out, you do the research on the operator, you do everything, and then you can self-direct that money into that syndication, and you can say, okay, I know this operator has this track record. I know that we're going to probably get these returns because this is what they've shown in the past, versus just chancing it in the market and based on other government or political decisions that are made could have an impact on your investment, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, Marcus, would you mind, as we wrap up this video, would you mind just explaining, a little bit more about the benefits of self-directing IRA? Like I mentioned some there for sure, but what other benefits do you see of using a self-directed IRA?
Yeah, even taking a step back and, like we both have a desire to have an impact in different ways and stuff with our businesses. And so I think when we go look at like the amount of money that is out there in retirement accounts and what is available to do, I see this as like investing in America, like at a ground roots level, right? Because we look at different shortages in housing in different areas across the country, and the need for affordable housing. Mm-hmm. And that's why there's a lot of the benefits to real estate investing is because the government has been putting it into real estate investors' hands to kind of help with the housing problem to do that. And I think that the ability for every American that has money in retirement accounts to be able to use a self-directed IRA and to be a part of that and being able to provide that housing, it's really kind of providing housing and building America at a ground roots level. So I think that's a pretty cool aspect of it as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. So not only do you have the benefit of like having very much control over your retirement account, you also get to help build America, right? And provide this housing and things like that are needed for, it depends on whatever kind of real estate you invest in, right? But yeah, it's just, there's multiple different benefits of using a self-directed IRA. We covered a few in this video here. Hopefully we were able to shed some light on exactly what a self-directed IRA is. But now, I'm going to turn it over to Marcus. He's going to talk a little bit more about the webinar that he did with the CEO of UDirect, and then how to get access to the webinar so you can learn more and more about that. And that's over an hour long, or about an hour long webinar that they did. Marcus, would you share with our listeners here or our viewers exactly how they can find this video?
Yeah, so absolutely appreciate you sharing. Just recently, as he mentioned, I had hosted the CEO of UDirect IRA Services, which is who the custodian for my own personal self-directed IRA. Spent about 30 minutes, kind of a bit of a presentation breaking down, a little more detail, specifics of investments, and then it's about a half hour Q&A, so you get to hear some interesting questions from other investors and stuff as well. And if you're interested in looking a little more into that and hearing about it, you can go to alonglegacy.com/SDIRA.
Yeah, thanks so much, Marcus. I appreciate it. We'll make sure that we have that link down in the description below. And thank you so much for watching the video. If you found value in this video, please go ahead and hit the like button below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so you get notified when we release other awesome videos like this. And thank you so much for watching. And until next time, explore more, adventure awaits.